everyone. It's Miss Melissa from the Sienna Branch Library. Welcome to After School Break. Today's After School Break is going to be about science experiments that require patience. Over here in this saucepan, I have added 1 cup of water to 3 cups of sugar, and I've got it on low. I'm going to be stirring it every so often. What I want is for this to melt the sugar and give me a clear solution. What we're going to do is grow our own sugar crystals. Some of you might have done a lot of baking this past spring. I know I did. I made a lot of cookies and a lot of banana bread. And when you're handling the sugar, you just see these teeny tiny little granules. Have you ever really looked at a sugar crystal? Well, this is going to give us an opportunity to grow our own. You're going to want to get a glass or a mason jar, something you can see through. And I have attached a paper clip to the end of a piece of yarn and tied it to a pencil. The paper clip is going to make sure that our yarn stays all the way through the glass, all the way to the bottom. I attempted this before, and I learned a couple of things. You're definitely going to want to use the stove and some adult supervision because you need the solution to get hot enough to melt the sugar. You're going to want that paper clip because once the sugar is melted, it creates a solution so thick and viscous, the yarn actually floats to the top. It doesn't want to sink all the way through. So I'm going to stir this. We don't want it to burn. We don't want to accidentally make caramel, even though that is delicious. That's a different kind of science experiment. While that's cooking away, over here, we have got a soaked bean and a damp paper towel. Something else I did this spring was a lot of gardening. Spent a lot of time outside digging around, and you put things in the ground and you wait and wait and wait and you wonder, what's going on down there? Is anything actually happening? So this is a really great way to watch things grow. You are going to get a sandwich baggie. And as I said, a damp paper towel, not too wet, and whatever bean you have in your pantry. Now you're going to want to soak your bean. If you don't, it will take forever to sprout. Learned this the hard way. So I actually put this in a glass of water yesterday. So you're just going to fold your damp paper towel, place your bean on top of it, and slide it into your sandwich baggie. I'm going to seal it, but I'm not going to seal it all the way. You want to leave it just a little bit open so that air can circulate. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to tape this into a window. That way the sun can come through, warm everything up, and we can watch our bean germinate. All right, over here, our sugar solution is looking better. Not melted all the way through, but we're almost there. Once the sugar has completely melted, I'm going to turn the heat off, let it cool completely, and then pour it into our prepared glass. All right, so our sugar solution has cooled enough, and it is nice and clear. All of our sugar has dissolved. It's still a little bit warm, so you do need to be careful with this step. Also, it's extremely sticky. We are going to very carefully pour it into our glass. A little more. So now we are just going to leave it alone, and we're going to check in with it every day and see what grows. Okay, so I've added a piece of tape to our little baggie, and we are just going to stick it there in the window. The afternoon sun is going to come through, warm everything up, and hopefully something will grow. We're going to check back in with it tomorrow. So it's been a little over a week. Now it's time to check in on our experiments and see how they did. Unfortunately, the bean was a failure. I don't want you to get discouraged though. I still want you to try this at home, but maybe try and figure out where I went wrong. Should I have used seeds from a store instead of a bean from a pantry? Should I have filled up my baggie with dirt instead of a wet paper towel? Did I need to put it in a different window to give it even more sun? Try a bunch of different things and then let me know what grows for you. Here we've had a little bit more success with our sugar crystal in a glass. This one is my absolute favorite. It is just so gorgeous. It is like looking at the inside of a crystal chandelier. So we've got some crystallization of the sugar here at the top. So I'm going to remove my pencil and then I'm going to crack the sugar on top. And try and get the sugar crystal free without making a giant mess, maybe? Finally. Okay, so again, we're going to learn from what I did wrong. Make your yarn just a little bit shorter. Don't let it touch all the way at the bottom of the glass, because what I have learned is that there is a whole colony of sugar crystals down there holding very, very tightly, and they did not want to let go. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It looks like frost or like jewelry. If this was a little bit longer, it would make a very, very pretty bracelet. But I know that it's sugar, so it's delicious. I may or may not be harvesting crystals from this yarn to sweeten my tea, but we're going to do that later. Okay, so our bean and our sugar crystals were about watching things progress slowly over time. This one is all about instant gratification. We are making bubble solution, but not just any bubble solution. We're making bubble solution that's going to create bubbles that last, not the kind that just pop the second they touch something or the second that you blow them. So you're just going to need some really simple things that you probably already have around your house. You're going to need some water, some dish soap, some corn syrup, measuring spoons, and a container for it all. In here, I've got 1 cup of warm water. We want it to be warm so that our corn syrup and our dish soap dissolves easier. Here, I've got 1/3 of a cup of dish soap. We're going to pour that in. And then I need 2.5 tablespoons of corn syrup. So there's 1, there's 2, and here is our half. And you're just going to take a fork or a whisk or your hand or anything you want, and we're just going to stir, 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 stir to combine all of that together. You can't see from that angle. It's really, really cool. You can see the dish soap has sort of settled onto the bottom, and as I'm running the fork around, there are like trails of it, along with the corn syrup. And as I move the fork around, it dissolves. Now, we're going to let that sit for a bit. Next thing that you're going to need are some bubble wands, and I've made some out of pipe cleaners. You see this one's got like a little kind of I don't know what we would call that, wrinkly sort of edge. This one I made by just taking a pipe cleaner and following all the way around of a cookie cutter. Whatever cookie cutters you have would be a great mold for a bubble wand, but if you don't have any, just get creative. This one I actually just used by following around a drinking glass. And this one was actually a bottle of hand soap. So look around, look in your kitchen, in your room, in your living room, anything that you think has a really cool shape that's small enough that you can fit a pipe cleaner around and use it. So you're going to take another pipe cleaner, wrap it around, and this is your handle. And we're just going to bend it slightly. We're going to dip it into our solution and see what we have. I love bubbles. Don't know if you knew this. So making my own bubble solution is making me very excited. Okay. Blew too hard. We're going to have to be really gentle. Ah! Giant bubble! Okay. Ah! 2 bubbles! So I'm going to continue to have fun with this and basically just blow bubbles until I'm out of solution. I invite you guys to do the same and again, have fun with it, experiment. If it doesn't come out quite the way you expected or the way you wanted it to, see what you can change. Remember to have fun. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.